body, for our mind, and for our consciousness. As you have said before, that our consciousness gets impure over a period of time. So, how is it so that our consciousness gets impure, and how meditation can help to cleanse it?
It's a very tricky question for the answer that I have answered actually. But anyway, let me come to the answer straight. Over a period of time, yes, our consciousness acquires, or our consciousness requires some amount of balance, harmony, because as I said in that example, when you asked me this question, why do we need to meditate? I said, like a candle, if I burn a candle, when I lit a candle, the moment the candle is lit, it gives you something positive, according to you, called light. But as a byproduct, the candle also gives you a black soot, which invariably over a period of time limits the effectiveness of the candle giving light. So the candle produces light, the candle also produces black soot. The byproduct black soot will limit the main product light. In the same fashion, when consciousness functions over a period of time, our own functioning becomes a limitation. That is what I always mention. Somebody these days, this so-called confused sadhaks, they also say, Guruji, I have no ego. And then I say, having no ego is also an ego. When you say that I have no ego, it means I have ego. In the same fashion, if I say Shiva is not there, Lord Shiva does not exist. When I say that, if you understand, in my mind I have a concept called Lord Shiva. Yes or no? When I say this Narayana does not exist. But in my mind, when I say this Narayana does not exist, there is a concept called Narayana. So in my mind that concept exists. So in the very statement when I say Shiva is not there, Lord Shiva is not there, in that very statement Shiva is there. In the same fashion, life happens 200%, and irrespective of how much positive you try to go, there is always a negative which comes as a shadow to it. And that is the reason why, how to avoid this, actually that doesn't work that way. How to avoid our consciousness, how to avoid it, to gain impurity over a period of time, that's practically impossible. Because if I want to erase off the night, and if I consider day as positive, and if I consider night as negative, for example purpose, and if I say I want to erase off all the night and only want to live in the light, the day, the truth is, the moment I create more light at one place, darkness has been created. The night or the darkness which I identify is with my mind. If you are understanding, there is no night. People, darkness and light. If light is positive, darkness is negative. Remember, the moment you create some light somewhere, you have created darkness somewhere. And this working with more light will create more darkness and more darkness, but darkness can never be erased. So, what is the best method? To actually work with the night system or the darkness, and understand and realize that there is no darkness. Darkness is the relative term, and darkness, any place is called dark or anything night, because in the night, my eye, the spectrum of light which my eye cannot perceive exists. In the day, the spectrum of light which I perceive exists. So in positive action there is negative byproduction, and in negative action also there is some positive byproduct. The life or the universe always happens 200%. If I hold you, you will hold back me. If I say something to you, am I clear with you? Anything I do will have an equal and opposite reaction. And this is the law. So life exists in 200%, and the more you try to run into positive direction, the more you acquire. So the consciousness, when it tries to be in go towards the more positive direction, the negativity actually tries to dominate over a period of time, and it will come back. So how to actually cleanse your consciousness is not by overindulging in positive or not in negative, understanding the harmony between negative and positive. For example, I take this Lord Krishna making the war happen. Generally, ahimsa is the basic existence of human. Ahimsa is not a quality. Ahimsa, when you basically exist, you are ahimsavadi. But mind is ahimsa or ahimsa, that is a different topic. But the basic fundamental existential attribute for human being is ahimsa. But when required, Lord Krishna resorted for ahimsa. Lord Krishna was neither towards ahimsa or neither towards himsa. He was always towards dharma. In the same way, in your mind, there is a positive attraction. Now, with the Lord Krishna example, I try to give the war and peace. Now, with you, if you see, there is a comfort level of existence. And when I say, what is positivity to you? Then you say, okay, having a good house, car, money, good family, very happy relationships, all this, all positive happening to me is positive to you. But the problem is, the more positive you try to, because you are attached to positive here, there is a negative that will continue to haunt you. The 200% of life, where there is light, there is darkness. Where there is darkness, in the darkness also there is light. The only truth is light. But when you perceive, there is darkness and light. In the same way, when consciousness functions, there is negative consciousness and positive consciousness. So how to purify my consciousness is neither attaching our importance to positive consciousness or negative consciousness, neither over emphasizing on your comfort, neither over-emphasizing on your trouble. The day you learn to be just I am, the I am pulsating within you, the basic existential, when you realize you are neither attracted towards your positive, neither troubled or distorted by your negative, and you just stay as your own being, the amness pulsating within you. मैं लड़का हूँ, एक आइडेंटिटी है, मैं लड़की हूँ, एक आइडेंटिटी है, लेकिन मैं हूँ, एक अस्तित्व है. जब when you concentrate on this own astitva or the existential phenomenon of you, your consciousness naturally gets purified because there is no action. So it is important that you neither go or run towards positive energy or neither be scared about negative energy. Remember your consciousness, and that pure consciousness, when functions, has positive and negative to it. But in reality, truth is different from reality. In the truth, there is positive and negative. In the reality, there is only existence. When you realize this, your consciousness is pure and there is no impurity ever.